Hey, how y'all guys doing? It's KLA, Clyde the Wanderer. I'm here with a special guest. It's not a regular guest, but it's a guest that I would appreciate. You know, um, I've always liked animation and like music, and hopefully, I can learn from this person. His name is Jessi String, and he's here to tell about how he got started in animation and music. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm all right. So, how is life for you in animation? How you got the animation bug?
I mean, I've always loved animation since I was a kid, and it was something I was always really into, especially stop motion. I remember
Yes.
like when I was really little, kind of figuring out what that was by watching like Gumby. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but it's like it's
Yeah.
like a claymation style show, and
Yeah.
just kind of like I just love the fact that it like was physical and it existed. It wasn't just pictures on a page.
Right.
And so I've always been into it, and I've kind of dabbled in it here and there, and um, uh, uh, I made an animation about 12 years ago. I tried to actually make a full claymation little short, and it
Mhm.
was back then like the amount of resources and stuff that were available online were really low um, uh, uh, for stop motion. So I remember I found a book on Amazon about claymation, and I made this short, and it took so much work, and it was so horrible that I was like, okay, I have to wait to do this until technology is caught up to the point where I can actually make this look good. And so I
Mhm.
actually put it down for about 12 years, and then last year or about a year and a half ago, I kind of got back into it, and I found on Instagram there was this whole community of stop motion animators, and and so I started getting back into it, and it really piqued my interest again, and so I started taking classes, and yeah, and then so that thing that video that I posted of the guy picking up the box was actually the first assignment of this class I'm taking with this great animator up in Portland named Malcolm Lamont, who was an animator on like all the great stop motion movies that I love.
Okay. Where you from, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and
Oh.
and then I went to music school up in Berkeley School of Music, and then I moved out to LA about 17 years ago.
Oh,
So that's
so
what I
you in
do.
LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA. Yeah, that's what
Oh, okay.
I do music for a living. I'm actually a recording engineer.
Oh,
And
okay.
record music, and I've just been getting much more into this. So I'm in my studio right now, and so that's my stop motion setup over there.
Yeah. I do stop motion. I try to do it. I was like you, like I'm learning. I took like two classes of it. But not I took in traditional animation, and I took one with stop motion, and I was learning under a teacher. His name was Voltaire. He was like a musician, and he's a stop motion. He did stop motion. I
Oh,
mean,
cool.
yeah, he did it like in the '90s. He would do like he had a thing about horror movies and stuff like that, and so like he worked with like MTV and like I think other commercials and stuff like that. And I think like after a while, the stop motion business, it kind of started slowing down, and he was struggling and stuff like that because computer animation and so on. And so I think he was I'm sure he's teaching now, but he's been doing it for like 2 decades and stuff. I was learning under him like maybe like this was like 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
After that, after that, I stopped, but I was learning other things. I was doing After Effects a little bit, and it's not always easy, kind of like learning by yourself a bit. Yeah, you can learn from YouTube and stuff like that, but it's not like you in my opinion, like you need somebody to guide you, because it's like it's a lot of trials and error and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
sometimes it seems like and sometimes you seem like you don't know what you're doing, and
yeah. No,
so
it takes an incredible amount of patience. That's for sure.
Yeah,
And yeah, and having people who know what they're doing helping you is essential. I mean, you know, just someone like just to guide you on like the basics of animation. You know, like squash and
right.
stretch, ease in and ease out, and those kind of principles. Um, yeah, that helps a lot. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like you know, I think I'm a good fit for stop motion because my entire life up to this point has been basically trying extremely hard with very little outcome, and that's like that
yeah,
is what stop motion is. It's you're just you're working all day and you get you know like 2 seconds of footage done. You know.
yeah. How's your progress like now to back then? Like, is it got better or?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So when I started getting back into it, was about it was late in 2021, and I made this
Mm.
Lego stop motion video. You can see it on
Yeah, I seen that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was a song to a so a buddy of mine. It kind of all started because a buddy of mine we started a band. We were doing kids music, and so we started putting out songs last year. Our band name is Let's Be Bees, and and you can find us on our YouTube channel. We put out that stop motion Lego animated video, and and I just thought that was so much fun. But like back then, I mean, when I did that video, I had no idea what I was doing, and
Right.
so you can see like there's just you know there's just a lot more attention to detail that's put into what I'm doing now, and
Right.
I'm actually working on while I'm doing this class. I'm actually working on a new video for a song of ours that I should hopefully have up by early summer, which I started.
Okay.
I started back in September, so it takes a really long time to make these videos. But yeah,
So you
I feel a lot better at what I'm doing now than even I did a year and a half ago.
so how far would you take it? Like doing like I know you do like recording and animation. Like how far would you do it? Would you make a movie or anything like that? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean I love doing stop motion. That I would I think I owe it to myself to eventually get to the level where I could get employed and work on a show or a movie. Just to I
yeah,
mean, at the very least, just to see how it actually happens on a you know on a real set, because I think you can only do so much in your room by yourself. But I mean, when you're actually learning on set with other animators who've been doing this a long time, I think that would really up my game. I don't know if I've ever want to do it as a complete career change because I do really
right,
like music, um, uh,
right.
but the music business is that's got its issues as well. I mean, it's up and down, and you know, I've been freelance, you know, recording and producing for 12 years, and you know, the pandemic, you know, took a toll and everything. So I mean, you know, it's just one more quiver, you know, arrow in my quiver. It's just one more thing that I can do, and you know, kind of a way to express myself and kind of help get our music out. It's kind of the original.
Okay. I heard some of your music. I heard some of your band and stuff. Like I think you guys did a concert or something like that.
No, unfortunately, we haven't actually done anything live yet.
Oh, okay.
Because my buddy's he's over in England and he's having like visa trouble.
Okay.
So he hasn't been able to get back over here. So we did a lot of the record remotely. But so all of the
Okay.
stuff we've done so far is just released on Spotify and YouTube. You know, we're just trying to get something going. It's just fun.
What kind of music you do? Like you do rock or?
No, it's kind of all over the place. Our music was geared towards kids, but it's not really
Oh,
typical kids music. It's kind of all over the place. It's everything from rock and roll to we've got a barbershop quartet to there's kind of pop music, there's rock music, um, um, there's like ska music. It's kind of like a bunch of different genres. We got a hip hop track.
oh, okay.
I like a lot of different kinds of music, and so we kind of want to represent that on the record. So if you listen to it, you wouldn't necessarily think it was kids music, but we just thought that was a good area to go into, especially with kind of the visuals that I've been working on.
Yeah, I would definitely be curious to check it out. You know, last night I was kind of interviewing another. He's a rapper and he does like he doesn't do stop motion, but he does he self-taught himself how to do like traditional animation and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So I was talking with him about certain things about animation. He started learning like through the Blair Preston book, for Blair
okay.
Preston book, and yeah, I know what it's like an old animation book where you do like walking cycles and drawing animals and stuff like that. I seen it when I was a kid, so he was mostly talking about that and his pop stuff. Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, traditional animation. I mean, I love that too. But actually, at the same time, I got into stop motion animation. I started really getting into. I got into some computer animation as well. Like I taught myself how to use a program called Toon Boom Harmony, which is
yeah, I
like
heard of Toon Boom. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there's a couple. I made a couple full videos on that as well. You can see the clips on our Instagram page. Um,
Okay.
but uh, but yeah, that's a whole other beast because in stop motion, you can just animate objects that already exist, or I mean, you sometimes have to make the puppets or whatever you're doing. But I mean, in
Right.
2D animation, like you have to be able to draw well, and like
Right.
that was one of the things that was so hard. Is I would sit down and be like, okay, I want to get this guy to move across the room, okay, but like I have to draw a guy, and like he has to like look good. I don't want to just do
Right.
stick figures. So it's like half the time was just me drawing and drawing and drawing, and it's like before you even get to that, you have to be able to you know dr- draw what you see in your mind. So that's
Right.
another struggle.
Right. You ever like the like matter of fact, I seen you do like the roaches and stuff. They was parachuting this stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that's right.
Yeah,
That was
I like that one. That was good. That was cool.
yeah,
I like that one.
that's a video we did called Bug Party. That's also on our YouTube page on Let's Be Bees.
Yeah.
But so I got pretty proficient in that. I still like doing it. It's just most of my concentration is in the stop motion. But yeah, that was a fun video to make.
What made you come up with that? Just did it like you just see roaches and you just...
Well, no, that was one of our songs. It was brought in by my buddy James. He's my other partner on Let's Be Bees, and
Okay.
he had a song called 5:30 a.m. Bug Party, and it was a song about how his daughter, who he nicknamed his daughter Bug, how she would wake up. It was when she was a baby, and she would wake up at 5:30 every day. She would wake up at 5:30 every day, and she wouldn't go back to sleep. So he wrote the song called Bug Party about how they'd get up at 5:30 in the morning and have a bug party. So when I made the video, I kind of took it literally and had bugs partying. So it's like so like he'd wake up in the night and came down, and there's a like roaches parachuting around the room, and caterpillars boogieing down. That was kind of the idea.
Okay. So like what's your all-time favorite stop motion movie you seen?
I think my favorite stop motion movie is a Wes Anderson movie from about 10 years ago called Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's a
I
great
think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's got George Clooney and Meryl Streep do the voices. It's great. There are better looking stop motion movies. Like Leica makes really good, amazing looking movies. Like
Right.
Wes Anderson movies a little rawer. But the story in that is great, and the voices are great, and just overall, it's a great movie. I think my favorite stop motion show of all time is actually a claymation show out of Switzerland that they stopped making a long time ago. It's called Pingu, and it's a little claymation penguin and his little sister. And what I love about it is there's no talking; it's just sounds. They just communicate with sound, and it's so good. It's amazing.
Right. I remember like I when I was a kid, I remember Gumby. Definitely Gumby and hey, what's up?
Hey, buddy.
Gumby.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Axel, just stay over there. It's okay. I'll be done in a minute.
I won't take too much of your time.
Yeah, no worries.
But But growing up, I was watching Gumby and stuff like that, and I liked it. I forgot his name, the one who created Gumby, but it was entertaining. And then the California Raisins and the Noid and stuff, I really enjoyed that. So a lot of times that those stuff would come in my head, and for some reason I wanted to like create stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah, that was
I
the stuff. That was the stuff that inspired me when I was a kid too. I just thought that that
yeah.
was so cool. Did you ever watch Michael Jackson?
I know what you're talking about. It was a video where there was like a claymation scene there. Hello?
Oh,
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. Are you
Yeah,
back? There you go.
yeah.
There, okay, I got you. Yeah. Okay. So did you see? Did you ever watch Michael? It was a movie that Michael Jackson made in the late '80s, early '90s called Moonwalker. You ever
I've
see that?
seen the scenes of it. I've seen the scenes. I didn't see the movie, but I've seen some scenes of it. I think I know what you're talking about with the
Yeah,
two these
it came out. Yeah, it came out right around the time that the Bad album came out, and like there's a
right.
whole scene in there. There's a video for the song "Speed Demon" off of Bad, and
Yeah,
it's all claymation in the video, and that was something
yeah.
that really, when I saw that, I just thought that was like crazy looking. Um, uh,
Right.
so that was a big inspiration. The other thing that that and this is a lot of reason why I like doing stop motion for music videos. Um, the one of the probably the best stop motion music video of all time was a video called it's by Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. The song's called Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Nah.
Yeah, check that video out. When that video is probably 90% of the reason why I love stop motion. I remember I saw that video when I was a kid, and I was like, I have to be able to do this. It's so weird, and it's not even very like professional looking stop motion animation, but it's
Right.
so cool and it fits the vibe of the song so well. But yeah,
Mm.
check it out. The song's badass too. So
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out. Like how do you see like stop motion now? Like, do you think it's get improving like in terms of entertainment wise, like in the movies, or because you don't really see it as much like you do with the computer animation and stuff like that.
yeah, well, I think it's actually made somewhat of a resurgence. I mean, I don't know if you saw on Pinocchio. Guillermo del Toro came out a couple months ago with a new version of Pinocchio. Yeah,
I think I've seen that.
yeah, and it won the Golden Globe. It's probably going to win the Oscar for Best Picture. It's amazing looking. Um, uh,
Okay.
but I mean, like when you ask me, are stop motion movies getting better? I mean, they look incredible now. I mean, if you go
Right.
check a company Leica up in Portland and look at what these movies look like, it's I mean, it's kind of inconceivable how good they look. But
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, a movie comes down to the story and the script and the characters. So I mean, I don't necessarily think that the movies are all getting better, but I mean, I do think that stop motion as a medium um, uh, is getting. I mean, it's unbelievable looking now, and the amount of people that are really great animators is amazing.
Right.
Yeah, if you
Right.
go look at that video of Pinocchio, I mean, it's kind of an unbelievable work. Um, so
Mm.
so yeah, in general, yes. And I do think the stop motion is kind of making a resurgence now. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm getting more into it and I kind of I'm in the circles a little bit more, but it seems to be getting more popular. I'm seeing more of it now than I did 10 years ago.
Okay. I remember like years ago I seen this stop motion flick. It was called Paranorman.
Yeah,
Like
that's
he
made
was
by Leica. Yeah, that's made by
yeah
that
that
company.
yeah that I thought that was cool. Like the way I always wonder like how do they come up with these stuff with the storylines and just like the tedious work and stuff. Because I mean of course they have like crew certain people do certain things and stuff like that, but that really is not very easy to do.
No, I mean,
So
and the other part of it that's incredible are the people that make the actual puppets that move. I
right,
mean,
yeah,
like because when you put these things on screen, I mean, they're all, you know, they vary in size, but like an average puppet might be 8 inches tall or something. But I mean,
right,
detail that goes into each one of these things is so incredible. I mean, like the mechanics that they put in the face and the head, so that the eyelids all
right,
move, the cheeks
yeah,
move. Uh, um, uh, it's I think that it's essentially is what really brings uh, the, the what all stop motion animators find interesting and what they love about it is that at the end of the day, you're taking something that's has no life in it and you're giving it life. You're taking something that's just a wire puppet that can't move, and you make him move and talk and come completely to life. And that's pretty incredible. But yeah, the people that make the puppets that are able to do that, that's an amazing work of art just in itself.
yeah. So I mean, like, so you do like a college course or thing, something like that, or you taking
Well,
college courses?
I'm sure there are some colleges that offer it, but the two courses that I've taken so far is last year around the same time. There's a studio out in Burbank called Stupid Buddy Studios, and they are the
Mm,
studio that does. There's a show on Cartoon Network, or I can't remember. It was adult. It's on Adult Swim called Robot Chicken. I don't know if
right.
you. Yeah, it's produced by Seth Green. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of an adult humor stop motion show. And
Mm,
anyways, their studio offered it was like a 4 week class or something, 8 week class, and that kind of I found that really interesting, and that got me kind of to the next level. And then I made a couple more videos, and then at the beginning of this year, I started a private lesson actually with an animator named Malcolm Lamont, who's
mm,
great, and it's just kind of one-on-one Zoom classes that we take, and he'll give me assignments, and then he'll kind of critique it, and I'll just kind of learn by that way. So no
mm.
college lessons, so it's just kind of a one-on-one thing right now.
I'd like in terms of like the background, like you got the puppets down, but like the background, how do you come up with that? Like is there certain equipments that you get or
What do you mean, like doing the background sets, like the set
yeah,
piece?
the background sets, yeah.
Oh man, I mean, dude, so I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm not a visual artist by trade. So
Right.
it like everything that I'm doing, I just kind of I usually have a vision in my mind of what I want something to look like, and then I just try to figure out how to make it happen. Like if
Mm,
like um like like whatever it is, like if it's building a set, like for the video I had to do, there's a scene with Humpty Dumpty. The video I'm working on right now is called Mother Goose Outlaws, and it's about all the characters from the Mother Goose rhymes and how they were wronged, and they start a band called the Mother Goose Outlaws. And there's a scene with Humpty Dumpty, and so I'm like, okay, he's sitting on a wall, and he gets pushed off. So how do we make that happen? So it's like I got a bunch of clay, and I made little bricks, and I built a wall, and I put him
mm.
on. So it's just kind of I think that's something that I'm going to get better at as I do it. And luckily, I've got good resources. My sister is an amazing visual artist,
Mm,
and so I can kind of call her up and be like, "Hey, like, how do I accomplish this if I want to get this done?"
mm.
But yeah, it's all just honestly, it's just kind of guessing, trial work.
So that's good. I mean, you have like a support, like you work with other and you learn from other animators, and your sister, she's like a visual artist. I'm by myself. Like I show you certain things I got right now. I did this. I don't know if you see it as well.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. I sculpted it, and I try to do it on my Instagram, but it's not as great because it's the I don't know, like the Instagram reel, it acts funny and stuff like that. I think the only way I could do it is like at the library that I work at, and because they have like a camera and stuff, I could get that. But there've been moments, I try to do it, and it don't go in my favor, stuff like that. It's, so I know exactly what you mean. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's I mean, luckily nowadays though, especially on YouTube, there's such a wealth of information. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff from that too. I mean,
yeah,
you find out, some of these like there's a great animator named Justin Rash, and he has a YouTube channel where he has tips on doing stop motion and stuff like that. But I mean, you don't need much to do it. I mean, all the stuff that I have done up to this point, I don't even have a camera. I shoot it all on my iPhone.
okay,
So yeah, you don't need a lot of expensive equipment to be able to do it, but you do need a lot of patience, and
right,
that's for sure. And yeah, a good setup helps. Like especially if you're doing something in your house. Like the number one thing that I see, like from really beginner stop motion people, is that the camera gets bumped and it moves around, and something that you have to, like, the camera just has to stay completely still. So if you have a way to
right,
mount the camera and not bump it at all, that's about 50% of it. So because every time, if you take a shot and the camera's moving every time, then what you're looking at is going to be all over the place.
right. Do you have any tips for anybody that wants to start doing stop motion or anything like that?
If you're going to get into it, I mean, I would say a great way to start is there's an app for iPad and iPhone called Stop Motion Pro, and it's like a $5 app, and that first Lego video I made using that, and that's a great way to get started. So if you can get a $5 app and then a way to mount your camera or your iPad and not have it move, that's probably the two best tips to start. And just mess around with moving stuff around, and take shots, and just kind of get a feel for what it is, because it's really rewarding, it's really fun, and but it's incredibly time consuming.
Yeah. Now back to piggyback on the traditional animation, like the 2D animation. I've been doing like Flash animate and stuff. I don't know you did that. You ever done that? But
Yeah, so I know what that is. I haven't tried it though. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
yeah, I've been doing that for like I would say like 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. I've been going through trials and tribulations just doing that, like just knowing like certain timing and stuff like that. And yeah, like just try like removing frames, not to mix certain layers with other layers and stuff. I also did like Photoshop. So I mean, I don't know, you ever did like the Photoshop stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've had to learn that from doing this, because a lot of times in stop motion, you'll have to be able to erase like rigs. Like let's say there's a stop motion puppet that you want to fly through the air, right? So like to get him to fly
Right,
through the air, you've got to attach something to him, and then that whatever that is going to be in the shot. So you have to, when the shot's done and the camera's still, you get everything out of the shot and you take what's called a clean plate of the shot. So it's like just a shot of the background with nothing in it. And then you have to, I had to learn how to take my videos into Photoshop, and then you actually erase the rigs out of every shot, so that so it looks like he's just flying through the air with nothing attached to him. So stuff like
okay.
that. Yeah, but yeah, Photoshop is a necessity. But with any of that stuff, with any of that stuff, with stop motion, with 2D animation, the thing that I've found that's helpful to be able to level up to the next level is just think of stuff that you've never done and then try to accomplish it. Like if you just keep doing, if you learn how to do one thing and then you just keep doing that one thing, you're not really going to learn. But if you sit there and you're like, okay, I've learned this. Okay, so like I've learned to make this guy walk across the screen. Okay, well now let's
Right.
have this guy like walk across, like let's have him do a flip and walk across the screen, and then let's have him walk across the screen and turn around and then run back, or whatever. Like just think of things that you haven't accomplished yet, and then set out to accomplish them.
Yeah, but to piggyback on that, I've seen like the clips of you doing like a practice or a model, or you picking up the box, in the animation, the guy he's picking up, and then you fall and he falls. Like that's like the reference you did. You like recorded yourself, and then you just started kind of animating the guy
Right.
to
So,
do
so
what you want.
right. So that's called a. Those videos are called live action references, and this is something that's kind of new to me with doing this class with Malcolm. And that's kind of how, at least I'm sure if someone's watching that actually works on these movies would know it. I think that's kind of now the standard of how most of these modern stop motion movies are made. Like almost all the scenes, at least the ones that can be acted out physically, are usually acted out by the animators as a reference. Like like if I'm walking over to the table and picking up something off the table, like I'll shoot a video from about the same angle that I'm going to do it in the movie, and then I load that into my video, and then you can go frame by frame and kind of see where where you're at, and you kind of match your puppet to the actual video frame by frame, and it's a way to kind of it's a way to really get very human-like movements out of your puppet. It kind of makes it very human-like, which it can be a great thing. It also can not be a great thing. There's an aspect of that I don't like that much. I kind of like it. I think one of the things that I love about stop motion is how it doesn't feel real. You know what I mean? It's got kind of it kind of has like a herky jerky kind of motion to it a little bit.
Right.
I think that's really important, and it's like a really kind of endearing quality about stop motion. So yeah, using live action reference, like doing like what I did, picking up a box and making an animation of that is one way to do it, but it's not kind of the end all be all way of doing it. It's just kind of if you're kind of going for that style, it's a useful tool.
Yeah, I kind of seen like it was a movie, and I think it's like a kung fu movie. I think it's Chinese based, but they was actually doing certain things like that to get certain things done in the movie,
Right.
like how they wanted it to. Yeah. What's it like working, learning from Malcolm? Is there a lot of students in his class, or?
No, it's just me. It's just me. It's just one on one.
One on one. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think typically he takes on a couple students, but it's all it's all just private lesson, which was I found really appealing about that, because it's just I can kind of ask I ask a lot of questions, so
yeah,
so it makes it good for that.
Yeah, because I mean I've been to I took like classes like School of Visual Arts in New York, Manhattan, and it's like it's a lot of people there. It can be a lot of students there. I mean, with that motion course, it wasn't that many people, but the thing was, if you don't take in what the teacher tells you, you most likely to kind of quit the course. And it's like a waste of money. I remember this teacher told me that, because I felt like that, like when I first was learning traditional animation, and he wasn't paying attention to me, but for some reason I didn't want to give up the class. I didn't want to quit. I just kept kind of enduring through it and stuff like that. And so he finally kind of praised me on certain things I was doing and stuff. So, but them animation courses, I mean, you have to have like a real teacher so you can learn from, in my experience.
Yeah, absolutely, and Malcolm's like a master at it. So it's nice. I mean, because at this point, I feel like I'm I'm a kind of intermediate stop motion animator, and so yeah, I need. That's why it's nice to be working with someone who's a pro, because he's going to be able to look at what I'm doing and see it in a way that I won't see it. Like I'll if I were to do this by myself, I might look at it and be like, oh, that's cool. But he'll look at it and be like, oh, hey, your balance on your puppet is like completely off. Like if you notice, like, hey, he's leaning to the right this entire time, and I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that. Because it's just kind of he just has it has so many years of looking at it. He's got a way of kind of just kind of stepping, getting me to step it up to the next level. So.
Okay. Is that something that you want to pass to your son? Like,
No,
how does he look at?
You want to do animation? No, he likes he's going to be a musician. That's I think he's going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed I noticed some of the I looked at your IG page and you play golf. That's one of your hobbies.
It's funny. I I do play a lot of golf. I did play a lot of golf until I got into stop motion, and the stop motion has ruined my golf life. I just do this because I got really into this, and it's kind of become like an all-consuming passion. But no, I was I'm a very avid golfer. At least I was up until about a year ago. But yeah, like I mean, you play like 30 to 50 rounds every year.
Yeah,
kind of all the time. I play in a bunch of tournaments. But yeah, it's fun.
I never played golf. They say it's a boring sport to watch. So I look at basketball like sometimes.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it depends on what you're into. I mean, if you're into golf, then golf is interesting. But we I got two boys, 5 and 7 years old. So like the sports don't stop over here. It's just I coach, I assistant coach both of their little league baseball teams. So this something. Some sport is constantly being played over here, even if it's just UFC wrestling on the couch. I mean, it's the same stuff.
Right. So then what question I had to ask? Oh God, it just slipped out my mind. Like, do you watch like other like stuff like outside of stop motion? Like, do you watch like live action movie like Marvel, cinematic universe, or stuff like that? Like, I know they was talking.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of stuff. I mean, honestly, I don't really watch a ton of stop motion stuff. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I like doing it a lot more than I like watching it. But I mean, I kind of like everything. I mean, probably my favorite animated show of all time is The Simpsons. So I mean, I kind of watch whatever. I'm not too into the Marvel stuff. In fact, I don't even think I've actually. The one Marvel movie that I have seen that I thought was fantastic was the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
that one's
I've seen that one. They're gonna have a sequel to that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard they're making a sequel to that. Hey.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't watch a ton of TV. Probably if I'm watching anything, it's usually live sports. I like to watch baseball and football, and aside from that, I'm usually out here animating. That's pretty much what I'm doing, like every night after the kids go to bed. So,
is it like a lot of hours you put to it when you animating, or like?
Yeah, I mean that video that I did took about 35 hours, and I did it in a week, and I still work, and I'm still watching the kids. So that means the only time I had to do that was, between about the hours of 8 and midnight every day. And so after kids go to bed, that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Do you write like certain like stories or anything like that, like to just get an idea?
Man, I don't really write stories. I write songs, and then songs kind of are a lot of our songs kind of become story based.
Okay.
I've never actually like just written a story to write a story, but the more I'm getting into stop motion, and the more I'm kind of focusing on, visual mediums, that might be something in the future.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. I mean, like, I appreciate your time, taking your time out. I don't want to take too much of your time.
Yeah, no problem. This guy's losing patience, so I probably should go. He's gonna start stuff behind me.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say, like, if anyone's interested to check out, go on Instagram and check out Let's Be Bees, LETSBEBEES, Let's Be Bees. That's that's the music we're putting out, and that's where our new music video will be too. So we're on YouTube and Instagram and Spotify.
All right. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.